Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another recap video. Today we're going to be taking a look at SPY on the 11th of July. I'm just going through it like as always, but before we start, make sure you guys smash a like and join the Discord if you guys want to be part of a pretty cool trading community. We trade SPY and, we discuss it almost every morning, and there's a bunch of cool people in there. So if you are interested in trading SPY and learning more, do be sure to join the Discord. But yeah, anyways, let's get right into the video. So today, I did take one trade right over here. With this green circle, and this is one of those kind of interesting trades, which is why I wanted to talk about it. If you look at it from kind of the bird's eye view after the day has already ended, it doesn't look like a good trade. All right, it really doesn't look like a good trade. We did break above, but we only came within 6 cents of this resistance level. All right, the reason I took it was because when I was looking at the chart at that time, the price was actually coming within 5 cents of the level. Either my eyes lied to me or something else happened. There was a weird fluctuation in TradingView's price or whatever. I saw this hit 62. This only hit 63. So, But that was my conviction at the time. So I believed it and I had a plan before entering. That's the most important thing. Anyways, it did turn out pretty good. And I scaled along this way up through this resistance, and then had to get stopped out after this absolutely violent candle that pushed us down. All right. So it wasn't that successful a trade, but it was all right. After this, there was really nothing else, so I didn't take anything else, nor did I alert anything else in the Discord. So that's just the unfortunate, thing of today's morning. All right. So bringing me to my next point, we started to dump. Those massive candles went, very fast, very violent. And we ripped through this support, and we also ripped through this support in pre-market. And I was considering taking puts off the retest of this level. Now, did I take that? Did I alert that? No, because this is a one candle pullback. We only have one green candle coming up and retesting this level. Whenever we have that scenario, don't take a trade. Okay? Now again, as I mentioned in almost every one of my videos, it could be a possible lotto if you are interested. So it's that we also started to form a trend line here, which are marked by these 2 points. And right here is another point that I'd like to mention. After we had some chop, we moved right down through this support level marked by these wicks, and this. This was a pretty good support level, right? Apart from the fact we also had a trend line here that we could play puts off of. Why did I not take puts off this level and this? Well, 2 reasons. First of all, this formation is not a clean pullback. As I mentioned in the live this morning, whenever there's a tooth formation, looks sort of like a tooth, it's not good. All right, you want to have this, and then you want to have a clear retracement back. Okay, we had this weird tooth. Okay. On top of that, the trend line does not. Just because there was a trend line does not qualify as a good trade. If we did have a good pullback that was solid like this, I would have taken the trade. All right. But because there was a trend line here without a solid pullback, I did not take the trade. Okay. Moving up, we kind of have a little bit of a condensation here in one zone. And then we kind of push through this level right here at 440.38. After we push through that level, we start to retrace, and some people think that this is a good trade, which is again why I have it in blue, which is why I think is a good pointer to point out with my strategy. This is not a good setup. Again, this is not a clean pullback. All right, this right here is a pullback where we went up, we tried to move down, we continued moving up, but no, price decided that even though we went only a little bit higher, we're gonna come down. That's what happened. So this kind of indicates that the likelihood that we're going to continue much higher after this is not very high. Now, in this case, if you did enter calls here, it would have turned out pretty good, honestly, okay? But that doesn't mean that next time this sort of scenario will happen, the same outcome will happen. So you have to be cautious. Up next, we have a golden snipe strategy that I wanted to mention. So basically the way it works is you mark the first resistance or support of the day. In this case, we have the first rejection of the day where we change the direction right over here. Then the price tried to move higher, but failed, came down, creating a sort of supply zone. All right. After this, we tried to move up through that resistance level, and the same thing happened. So on the third time that this is happening, the chances that the same outcome will happen are pretty high. Again, you're playing your probabilities, and the chances that we will come right under that zone once again are pretty high. So taking puts right here would be pretty nice on the first red candle. Here I don't have any notes. We kind of had this chop, nothing major, a little bit of a trend line here. You could have played a couple flag plays, but then we had some pretty good movement up with no pullbacks. You never FOMO into something like this. You wait for the pullback to one of your resistance levels for the upside. All right, nothing happened. Right here, we kind of peaked and started coming down. And right here, I thought was a pretty solid setup. We had a support. We broke through with 129K volume on this candle and also, 147K volume. But either way, even if we're looking at the 129K, we came up, we pulled back, and we had 111K volume on this candle. Oh wait, now that I'm reviewing it, wow, I actually missed this. This was actually a one candle pullback. Wow. Yeah, so I caught my mistake here, but yeah, this is not a good trade. My bad. So yeah, you could say this is a lotto, if you want to. It's a one candle pullback. It's also a lotto because we continue up, kind of sort of have this pretty kind of solid retracement. But again, this is a massive lotto. This is not a good trade. I definitely messed up here. My bad. All right. After that, we do have this sort of trend line. Again, I don't take trades solely off the conviction of a trend line. There has to be some other factor that gives me the final kind of decision that I will take this trade. So we dumped through this support level, and with these massive red candles, all right? And this is why this is another lotto, all right? We do pull back up to this support, acting as resistance. Now, this pullback isn't the cleanest, which is why I'm not considering this very, a great setup. But due to the fact that these candles, all right, this had 59K, and then this had 54K. So the volume's really good. The fact that these candles after that right here and right here had pretty significant volume, especially this candle right here, okay? This suggests that this whole zone sort of has pretty good selling volume, right? Even though it's not the initial candle that pushed us down, the fact that, these candles right here are just massive kind of tells me that. Also, what I liked here was that once we broke through, we did have some condensation here and some sort of, choppy market. But right after that happened, we had this very clean streak of green candles, okay? And when that happened, because that happened, that kind of signifies that price action is getting better, and we're getting this clean retracement here. So this is another kind of lotto put entry. Today's, again, not a great day. There's a lot of lotto entries, not that many great green trades. To be honest, the whole week hasn't been that great, okay? But there has definitely been some pretty good trades, all right? This right here is another lotto trade. This two-way street setup that I play is just simply less size. You don't have to call it lotto, you can just call it less size. But this was a trade that was perfect, okay, in terms of the setup that you're playing. It's just you have to play with smaller size, all right? It is still a good setup. It's not like it's one of the good setups that you're playing a lotto just because. It's still one of the setups. So we have this trend line right here with the resistance. Now we break through that trend line, and we come and retest it for the upside. You take calls right here, okay? So we kind of form this M shape right here, and we move down. We kind of chop around. I don't have any big pointers here, but again, most other reasons not to take trades here are pretty self-explanatory. Like the volume and all that. And if you're also new and you're unaware of the rules that I'm talking about here, make sure to join the Discord. We talk about all of that. You can private DM me. You can comment on this video. I can explain to you all my different setups. You can also get my PDF, which I will be, releasing a bunch of free versions very soon. So, yeah. Here we started to dump and kind of push through these levels, and then we came right back up with this sort of W shape. And right here was another thing I wanted to mention. We had another person in the community and, different people talking about this trade right here. And also, I feel like this is just a big misconception again. If we push through this level right here, so basically we have this level right here, right, off this resistance of these candles. We push through with this candle, all right, which has 84K volume, all right, and you can see that up here, 84K volume. Then we already have this red candle that pulls back, all right? This means we already have a 1 candle pullback, okay? And then we try to move even higher, again, very similar formation to what I've discussed before, and we fail and we come down. This is not a great area to enter calls. Now, this did happen to work out again, okay? Now, I don't take trades based on the fact they just worked out once before. I take trades on just general things that I've noticed, and I've noticed that usually when this sort of situation happens, it doesn't go your way, all right? Okay, because if you thought the same thing right up here, all right, you thought this was just going to be one of those 1 candle, no, I have this here. If you thought this was just going to be one of those 1 candle pullbacks, you could have entered calls here and lost quite a bit of money. I mean, it would have been just a losing trade, all right? So just because it looks like it happened here does not mean that it will happen a different time, okay? Finally, one other pointer was this call entry that you could have had here, all right? So, yeah, this would have been a very successful call entry right into the end of the day. Now, again, what I've noticed is when we have a trend line, and one of the times when we start coming back, retracing back towards that trend line, when we start gravitating towards the trend line, and the price doesn't, fully make it to that trend line right here, it kind of stops, and then continues another one of those humps, usually that means the whole trend line is slightly invalidated. Now, in this case, again, it just, the trade went like perfectly. I mean, the trend line was perfectly validated. However, a different time, this could have not happened. So this is again why I highly recommend, if you're playing a trend line, you want to see a consistent bounce off the trend line. That's just another pointer. So that kind of covers the recap today for the 11th of July. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Again, make sure you guys smash a like and join the Discord where we do all of this. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.